landing system is available. The lighting systems are also up to standard. The terminal building is being completed to meet the international standards. And so the state is, or the airport in particular, is waiting to welcome all the users.
Let's come to the recent happening now. It's another hike in aviation fuel. It seems a serial, never-ending episode in Nigeria's aviation industry. And this time around, it's surprising to many Nigerians because there is a drop in the international price of aviation fuel. So why are we having this hike in aviation fuel?
Now, the aviation authorities have been in contact with relevant authorities in terms of availability of that product at affordable price. Do not forget that the pricing is denominated in dollars, and I'm sure we're all aware the naira has fallen badly against the dollar. So right now we're operating an import regime, and on the long term, based on the engagement by the Ministry of Aviation and its predecessors with the relevant oil industry agencies, there's a possibility, and we've been assured that some refineries are being adequately equipped to produce this aviation fuel locally. And once we have the local production, we expect availability problem to ease, and also the pricing is likely to also be affected, because now you don't have to take it out, go and refine it, and then bring it back. All those costs will have to be reduced, thereby even increasing our unemployment opportunities here in Nigeria.
Let's look at the state of the airlines now. Many of them are merely gasping for breath. What is responsible for the collapse of these airlines?
Well, basically, if you look back from the time that aviation was partly or fully deregulated to now, you see the number of airlines that have collapsed. And going by our own assessments, that the main reasons are lack of proper corporate governance and also bad management. And those are long-term, and we were looking at them in that terms of long-term projects. Towards addressing that management issue, the federal government has commenced, in conjunction with ICAO, the establishment of an aerospace university to address the scarcity of high-level aviation management manpower in Nigeria. We believe it will go a long way in fixing those managerial problems that we have at that level, because the College of Aviation Technology in Zaria has been set up to produce up to middle-level manpower. It's been doing it. Now, it is management at that high level that we lack, and having identified that as a major problem.
But you are saying that it's the issue of lack of manpower, but on their own side, they are saying that the heavy burden of multiple taxation is responsible for the difficulty in the operations of these domestic airlines operators. So how do you reconcile these two conflicting accounts?
Well, let me start by saying that the case of multiple taxation, it's not true. It's not true because they confuse or they mix charges and taxes. Taxes are statutory and they are government taxes by law. There are charges that have been fixed, and most of them are backed by the relevant laws. For example, the 5% ticket sales charge. That charge is a charge to enable the civil aviation to sustain itself without depending on government. This is money that has been made through the approval of the National Assembly in line with the Civil Aviation Act 2006, and is collected from the passenger and through the airline. And the airlines, when they collect, they believe it's their money, but it's not their money. It's to ensure that aviation is sustained. Everybody wants a robust, very strong, reliable civil aviation authority. You cannot do it without adequate funding. And that 5% is meant to address that. And there are other charges that are user-based charges. You only pay for what you do, and it's strictly based on recovery. It is not for the Civil Aviation Authority to make money from it, and Civil Aviation does not make money from those charges. Purely recovery charges, only for the service.
What can be done to address the indebtedness of these airlines?
Well, we've been trying to go through the automation system. The airlines have been refusing to go through that system, and we have given deadline, and the final deadline is 1st of March this year, because that's the only, unfortunately, the only language people understand. You have to force it, especially people collecting our money on our behalf and believing it's their money. So the 5% is not charged to the airline, it's to the passenger.
You talked about the introduction of the automated and ticket and cargo sales procedure, but why do you think many of these airlines are reluctant to comply with this policy from the NCAA and also meeting up with this deadline?
Well, they shouldn't, because most of the airlines, if not all the airlines, knew almost all the charges before they came in. So probably they didn't do their numbers properly. And even though the margin of profit in aviation is not so much, but at least there's margin of profit if you have very good management. So they should not be, and it's just unfortunately maybe a habit. And others are paying, the foreign airlines are paying. Most of the problem we have is with domestic airlines. And that's why we are saying that they should be alive to their own responsibilities. There are no charges that we put that are not backed by any law.
You may also join in this conversation by sending us your comments on our various social media platforms showing on your screen. Coming up on Question Time, setting the record straight on the proposed national carrier for Nigeria's aviation sector. Find out from the Director General, Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, Captain Mukhtar Usman. Join us again.